the calm splits it in two. Pattison Ave, where the wild hearts run. Talking sports, games, battles, lost and won. Voices rise, break chains, ignite the flame. Fanatic thunder echoing the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly, the real mature Mike Fuji in the building.
Wow, why did you go to me? You threw me off guard.
That's all right. Alan Andrew Cabbage.
What is up, gentlemen? Happy Monday. Welcome in. Let's do this. Talking everything tonight. Anything.
Yeah, we're gonna dabble. We're gonna dabble in a little bit of everything tonight. The Eagles season's over for this go around. So we'll get some Flyers stuff. Not a whole lot. Nothing crazy. Just want to get into a little Flyers. Talk a little Sixers. Talk a little hot stove and a little spring training, which is right around the corner. We're rocketing through January, so I figure we can kind of delve into a little bit of that. I won't hammer things too hard, but I did want to, and then we'll definitely talk some Birds all season, kind of looking ahead to the all season stuff too. But yeah, what's going on, boys?
Wanted to say happy MLK Day.
Yes.
Observed today. Also, I want to thank everybody and keep praying for my friend Tom, who's, taking baby steps. He's made a major climb in the last week, but everybody out there keep praying. And, I was just there earlier today to see him. So he's coming along. Shout out to Tom. God bless.
Shout out to Tom. For sure. I'm glad to hear, even though it's slow progress, it's still progress, Fuge.
Yep.
Hey, baby steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. So I went to my old new friend ChatGPT, and I like it when someone else formulates the questions, because when I write the questions, I already have the answer in mind as I'm writing the question. So it almost takes me out of the mix, and I like it when I can ask questions that I can kind of expand on. Now, the Flyers, we're titling this the mid-January meltdown. The Flyers have lost 6 straight games, with the low point being a 6-3 blowout loss to the Rangers this past Saturday. Flyers captain Sean Couturier ever so eloquently putting it, "We suck," quote, after the Rangers game. "We suck right now." Is this the honest leadership that the locker room needs, or is the frustration reaching a level where it's starting to affect the younger players like Mitchkov?
I think it's honest. Just hockey players in general, man. They're going to tell you what they're feeling, what they're going through. More so than I think any other sport. They're going to be a lot more honest, I believe, in hockey. So I think this is a stepping stone, man. With Tocchet as the head coach, first year in, I think there's going to be some growing pains and whatnot. But so far they look a lot better this year than last. So
that's true. That's true for sure. And me personally, I like it when the team captains and when team leaders stand up and can give you an analysis that we're already kind of feeling anyway. And as long as it's look, we suck right now, but we're going to do everything we can to get better. And then when you go out there on the ice and if you're inside the Xfinity Mobile Arena and you're watching these games and you see that there's effort being put forth, there, it's the effort that'll go with this message. If you just say we suck and then you lose another 6 games in a row, that's a problem. But if you're stepping up, you're holding your teammates accountable as a captain or as a leader, and then you back that up with effort and correcting issues, then yeah, I'm a huge fan myself of this. How about you, Fuge?
Well, Couturier being here as long as he has and being the captain, hey, you got to call people out on it. I mean, how do you expect these rookies to grow? I mean, with Vladar out too, it's not helping. I mean, dropping 6 in a row. Tockett's not playing favorites. And, Tockett's going to call you out. I mean, he's an old school, my favorite player of all time. Not just saying it, but I mean, you guys know what Tockett brought on the table.
100%. 100%. Watch. I'm sorry, Fuchs. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, if these guys can't all get on the same page, your ass is going to be run out of town. And you'll be playing with another organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing was, like, I liked Tortorella too because he was no nonsense, and we know Tockett is from the same ilk. He's absolutely not going to not. I mean, I think I don't, maybe not necessarily the coaching styles as far as X's and O's, but I do believe that they kind of have that same old school mentality, like suck it up, Buttercup.
Well, it's a shame they didn't have Tortorella when they had that Stanley Cup run. I know you had Laviolette, but I mean, they were cut from the same cloth. I mean, that's really when you needed a Tortorella, because, he would, I mean, a lot of these guys today are, it's like you got to hold their hand. I mean, Tortorella, Tockett, they'll get right in your ass.
Yes, absolutely. They'll sit you. I don't care if you're the best player on the team or the worst player on the team. We already saw evidence. We've already seen evidence of that.
I mean, let's go back to the days of Roenick when Ken Hitchcock was here. I mean, those two butted heads.
Absolutely.
And Hitchcock didn't care. He still got in Roenick's ass.
My favorite hockey player of all time. My favorite, I will say non-flyer because he spent the majority of his career in Chicago. But when he came to Philly, I think I say this every single time Jeremy Roenick comes up, but when he came to Philly, the first thing I did was run out to Modell's and buy a Jeremy Roenick jersey, because I was like, oh my God, my favorite non-flyer is now on the team. And, I gotta go Brindamore for my favorite all-time flyer. Right? And like Leclerc would be 1A right there with him.
Yeah, Rob was something. He was something else.
Yes, he was. I had the Brindamore jerseys and the Leclerc jersey. I had a Leclerc practice jersey that I used to skate around South Philly in.
Did you?
Yes.
All over South Philly. Up from
all over the place, brother.
Grays Ferry, too.
All over Grace Ferry. They'll tell you if they didn't hear the basketball in the summertime, you'd hear the basketball dribbling down the street. In the wintertime, I was flying all over the place.
You went down to 2 Street and Front Street and back.
No. I stayed down my end of South Philly when I was a teen for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Maybe head down to Packer Park every now and then just to talk to some of the Packer Park girls. But other than that, we
well, when you said you were all over South Philly, I just wanted some clarification.
I understand. I appreciate you clarifying.
I was just curious. I just want to see if I can picture you as a young lad just going up and down on a Flyers jersey on a pair of skates.
So there's a picture.
Were they black skates or white skates?
So my hockey skates were Bauer, but I had actual inline skates, the name brand of the skates. This is fun for me. I could do this all day. The name brand of the skate was Ultra Wheels, and as far as inline skates go, they were probably as good of a rollerblade that you could get non-hockey wise.
You get those Modell's too?
No, Ultra Wheels you couldn't get at Modell's. They were not ones.
About All Star Sporting Goods on Broad
Street.
No,
because All Stars would spell more hockey type, like skates, lace them up, not buckle. These other ones were buckle, but so when you break it down and you break down the bearings in said skates, there's ABEC 3s, ABEC 5s, ABEC 7 bearings, and the one pair of skates that I had ABEC 7 bearings. And for anybody who knows anything about inline skates, about hockey skates, the higher number, the faster you would go, and then you get yourself some bullseye gel wheels. Yeah. Forget about it.
Wait, you went to gold medal. Remember gold medal back in the day?
I remember gold medal.
No, bro, I couldn't skate. I still can't to this day.
There was a gold medal sporting goods back in the day, if anybody remembers that. I know I'm showing my age.
So Anthony Robe is checking in. TK to have some gray show in that red beard. Yeah, a little bit. It's just showing my maturity, as they say. And just checking in. I've got to see a clip of you inline skating. Now that's not. Funny. Now we would break the internet if we pulled up that, but I do believe there might be somewhere some footage of me skating.
I want to see
sure.
I want to see you skating past Mick Daniels down on 2 Street.
It's been known to happen for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Hold on 1 second while I'm at it here. Speaking of Jess and I have a new music show coming out called No Skips. We're looking to record our first episode, hopefully, this week. And I was telling you guys pre-show, and I literally, as we were going live, got the text that.
Why does that say 4 down turret?
It doesn't now. It switched back. I switched my things to show you that. So just let me roll up in here in StreamYard. I know what I'm doing. But very nice.
Yeah,
very nice. Okay. I got you. Somebody must be on their phone messing with me inside of StreamYard. It's cool. Wait, let's go back. Let's pull it up here because apparently I'm a Swiftie and I don't know. Guys want to try and put me on blast. So that would be me on a unicorn, a cartoon version of myself with Taylor Swift.
Is that at the parade?
Hey, look. Black, white, blue, green, whatever you like. I'm all for it. If you like it, I love it. But yeah, so people think they're going to try and call me out, embarrass me by throwing this stuff up there. I love it. I actually think that cartoon Tom on that unicorn with Taylor Swift looks rather handsome. If I do say so myself, thank you very much. So no, nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, so Jess and I will be our first episode will be about the MTV era, and we'll be talking we'll be talking all things MTV. I'm looking very, very much forward to Jess is laughing at my me on a unicorn, I assume, in my Paul Bunyan shirt, which is just fantastic. You gotta love it. But yeah, so new music show coming out. We put an episode of our men's mental health show. I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. I'll circle back. We did, Alan and I, Mike was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, but Alan and I put out an episode on Cole County of, it's our second episode of the men's mental health show. We just wanted everybody to check it out. Anthony Robic is a big fan of, my, yes. Yeah. So, but yes, so we have plenty more content coming out, and we've been in talks with, some other folks about expanding the brand and doing some other things that we're cooking up some stuff. Norm and myself and the rest of the fellas, on the crew here, and just stay tuned. Big things coming.
I didn't know you guys could cook.
I cook what do you want? What do you want? Baked ziti? What do you want? Lasagna?
I myself.
I can make that myself too.
Well,
I am of Irish descent, but I grew up in South Philly. So, by proxy, you learn how to cook Italian food.
Well, you're down by 2 Street. That's more the Irish.
Well, no, 30th Street. 30th Street was Irish as well. Grace Ferry, that's an Irish neighborhood. 2nd Street was an Irish neighborhood, and we sandwiched most of the Italian neighborhoods in South Philly were sandwiched by 2 Irish neighborhoods on either end. Closer to the ports is where we get the Irish.
Because the Italians showed you how to make that delicious Italian dishes.
Absolutely, and big props to all my Italian brothers and sisters out there. Yes, sir.
Damn straight.
Now, with that said, let's circle back to the Philadelphia Flyers here before we jump into the 76ers. At the Dvorak extension, Danny Briere signed Christian Dvorak to a 5-year, $25 million and change extension on January 5th when the team was rolling. Now they've lost every single game since that extension. Does that contract already look like mistakes or that prioritize safe veterans over a rebuild, Alan?
It almost seems like it, don't it?
Yeah.
It almost seems like it. I mean, they're the growth of young players in the NHL is exploding, right? Getting good play from young players right off the bat, much like the NFL with these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks coming in, right? Watching the growth and talent that has happened with the Flyers is been beneficial, but I think they're prioritizing some veteran stability, I guess, maybe,
Which isn't a bad thing. Most successful teams find a very good blend of youth with veteran stability.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Eagles in their first Super Bowl winning season, there was a nice blend of youth with veteran leadership on there.
Yep.
So let's stay in the same building. We'll stay in the Xfinity Mobile Arena, but we'll jump over to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers lost twice to the Cavs at Xfinity Mobile Arena this week. Are the Cavs officially the boogeyman for this roster, or is the lack of continuity between Embiid and Paul George the real culprit?
I would say, when these guys are healthy, when their big three are playing, they seem like if they could just stay healthy, along with the supporting cast they got around them.
Yeah.
But it's
Maxey and Edgecombe are been playing lights out all season long. It almost seems like when Paul George and Embiid are on the floor with them, things slow down a little bit. Like the offense slows down. It kind of maybe goes a little more stagnant than when those guys aren't out there on the floor with Maxey and then Edgecombe and the younger guys, who want to run the floor and move. But I think if they can get at least Embiid fully healthy, that will help them in the long run. I don't know about Paul George. I didn't know about him last year either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when he's playing, he's balling out too. It's just a shame the cohesiveness just can't continue with all these. But plus, you got the trade deadline coming up February 5th, so that's going to be interesting for Daryl Morey to see what he does.
Absolutely. And to add to what you were saying, Alan, it's the Embiid availability cycle, which we've gone through every single season since the big man's joined the team. It's Joel Embiid missed the first half of the Toronto back-to-back, but he played in the losses to Cleveland. At what point does injury management become a rhythm killer for the rest of the starting five? And this has been the question that you've had to ask every single year of his career. Yep. Because you would build continuity between Embiid and the rest of the team, and inevitably the big man's body wears down and breaks down throughout a long 82-game season. Mm-hmm. And then you have just like this. It's the injury management. So is it becoming a rhythm killer for the rest of the starting five?
I believe so. I definitely believe so. Like I said, the offense seems like they slow down. The whole game, not the whole game, but the whole Sixers game, with them younger players, they like to push the floor. They like to run the ball.
No.
Yeah, honestly, Embiid can't keep up with them. When they're moving and going, you know, I don't know if he just can't keep up.
Well, I kind of feel Embiid's, you know, playing a little better too this year because all the pressure's not on him. I mean, their Edgecombe being drafted, Maxey like taking the reins of this team. You know, just the other players on this team like stepping up and.
The guard play has been tremendous so far.
No, it's phenomenal, but it's like there's other guys on the team scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Embiid feels the pressures. I mean, to me, it's Maxey's team now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It feels you felt that shift over the last year and a half of it going from somebody who's not readily available to somebody who's out there flying up and down the floor every night. Watching him giving you that AI-esque. I wouldn't put him in the same category as Allen Iverson, nor would I put the majority of people who've played in the NBA in the same category as Allen Iverson. But he gives you that same feeling, that same excitement. It's a point guard, pushing the rock up and down the floor and being able to kind of move. He's bigger than AI was. What's Maxey, 6'3"?
Something like that.
Yeah, 6'2",
6'2", 6'3", something like that. So he's bigger than AI, but he's not as electrifying. I shouldn't say just as electrifying, but he is electrifying to watch for sure. It kind of gives you that. It gets in your feels when you start harkening back to the older Sixer days back there in the late 80s and the late 90s and the early 2000s. So.
Well, right now, the Sixers are trailing the Pacers at halftime, 55-51.
Okay.
Yeah, Embiid and George were both listed as questionable. So this is asking: is a loss today the signal that the Sixers need to make a move for a reliable fourth scoring option before that trade deadline that Fuji just mentioned a little bit ago?
I would say so. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I would say so. I've heard rumors of the Sixers trying to go out and get Kyrie Irving.
I did read that the other day too.
I
mean, right now, I mean,
that would be the thing to go get Kyrie, but I mean that's a legitimate point scorer that that there is a possibility to bring him to Philly.
I mean, looking at the standings right now, I mean, between the Knicks at 6.5 back, the Raptors at 7. You got the Sixers, the Magic, the Cavs 8 back, the Heat are 9, and the Bulls are 11. So I mean, it's really a log jam between 10 teams.
Yeah,
right.
9 teams for. Those playoff, jockeying for position. Especially, like I said, you got the NBA trade deadline in like 3 weeks, right before the Super Bowl. So,
we'll see what happens. I don't know if Kyrie. I'm going to talk about an infusion of youth. That is the opposite of an infusion of youth. You already got a Kyle Lowry coming off your bench. Yeah, how many guys? I think you get more out of a Kyrie, obviously, than you would out of a Kyle Lowry. But how close to prime Kyrie is he?
Yeah, but what are you going to give up to? That's another thing.
That's also a really good point, Fuj.
Can you take on that salary? Which I don't think they can.
No, without edging the future. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be completely opposed to it, but I'd have to see the give and take for a trade like that, for a trade with Kyrie. So between these two teams, it's kind of like the big picture here during this week. Which team's performance was the most alarming? The Flyers' total defensive collapse or the Sixers' inability to defend home court against Eastern contenders. It's basically what the vibe is in the Xfinity Mobile Arena is that normal word that you hear from Philadelphia fans when they're not very happy. And that seems to be a lot of what's going on, which stinks because both teams started out on fire. Both teams started out this campaign, this 2026-20 campaign on fire. And now for different reasons or similar reasons, however you want to look at it, they both seem to be cooling off. What team would you have bigger concerns with, the 76ers or the Flyers right now?
I would say the Flyers because, I mean, they're playing solid, consistent hockey, but you dropped 6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 in a row, end up missing the playoffs.
6 in a row is tough.
Yeah.
I was leaning Flyers myself.
Yeah.
I think the pressure is more on the Flyers because they haven't made the playoffs for X amount of years in a row. I mean, it's how much can Keith Jones and Briere do? I mean, you bring Tocchet in as a head coach, is going to, you think it's going to change the
change the locker room, change the culture.
Yeah, and it's does Tocchet have the right culture?
Right. I believe he knows how to shape a culture. I just don't know if he has the right pieces in place. Right now, as far as your veteran leadership goes on the ice. I was leaning Flyers anyway. I believe the Flyers do worry me a bit more than the Sixers just because of that. I feel the 76ers where, it's an Embiid injury issue every single year. It's the devil versus the devil you don't know in the Flyers.
Yeah.
At least with Embiid what you're up against, what you're dealing with, and what you're going to have to do, to combat that.
I mean, it's like the Phillies and the Eagles take so much more precedence over these two teams because, all right, the Sixers make the playoffs, but Flyers used to be the golden jewel of this town. I mean, how many consecutive years did they make the playoffs?
True.
I remember when these other 3 teams were dog shit.
Oh yeah.
And the Flyers were always reliable.
Yes. Absolutely. And but that was during Ed Snyder times, and
right.
Ed Snyder, God rest his soul, isn't around anymore, so we have to put our faith in the future of this franchise, the future GMs of this franchise, and Danny Briere, and hope to God we can kind of get back to some of that glory.
Well, Flyers used to be like one of the most winningest organizations in sports. Even they would compete for the Stanley Cup every year. Like how many times did they make it to the Wales Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals?
How many 50-win seasons you would get out? I mean, they played they played their hearts out too, and it was teams that you could relate to.
I mean, I think the problem with the Flyers over the years, they haven't had a solid goaltender really. Well, they had Bob, but
and they got rid of Bob, and then you saw what he became.
Don't get me started.
Nah,
besides Bob and really since Hextall, I mean, they haven't had no savior goaltender since.
Absolutely. So let's transition in here into the Fighting Phils real quick. I can talk puck with you all day long and talk round ball with you all day long, but we are coming up, Phillies. We are coming up quick on spring training here.
Yes.
Well, you don't want me to.
Terrible, Food.
All right. Do I blame Bichette for taking more money in less years? No, not at all.
But do you blame the Phillies for not matching that?
Yeah, because you need a right-handed batter, and you know what? I don't want to hear about JT Realmuto. The guy's a great catcher. He's 35 years old, but there is no frigging way in hell I would have gave him 3 years. The guy's 35. There's a lot of fucking mileage on the knees. Excuse my language.
You're good.
You could have you could have got away with Marchand and got a backup for 60 games.
Good up. Now, the way I'm looking at it is this 3 years are going to be a transition from Real Muto into whomever they decide to bring in. Maybe use him in more of a mentor role in that last season. I don't know. I think this 3-year contract is the bridge to who our future catcher is going to be.
Yeah, but who else they have? I mean, they threw the one catcher they drafted at 18 in either the Bader deal or the Ron deal. But the thing of it is, hear me out, because I'm living after whenever the frig it was. Between Harper, Turner, Real Muto, Nola, who else? And Schwarber, I'm sorry. This team is in trouble within the next 2 to 3 years, because Schwarber shouldn't have got 5 years. The guy will be 38. You're going to lose bat speed. Harper, I hate to say it, is on the downside of it. And then that guy wants another extension. Please. Turner, you gave a friggin' long-term contract to. You shouldn't have. Nola's another one. I mean, why? You should have just kept Suarez and got rid of Nola. And who else?
Right.
Who else am I? And Real Muto, come on. How much longer is this guy going to be able to catch? The guy is great. The guy can handle a pitching staff better than any catcher in baseball, but come on.
What's happening right now is you have a window. You have a window that's closing.
Closed.
It's not closed. It's closing, but it's closing fast. I think this season they still have a chance, but it's I want to see what age is done to them in the off season.
Yeah, but you want a right-handed bat. Bone's not the answer. Stott is a hell of a second baseman defensively, but is too streaky.
Yeah.
You need a right-hand. This lineup has too many left-handers in it, and it has for the last 4 years. I mean, you still have Castellanos hanging on by a thread. Like, what the hell are you going to do with him? He's making $20 million. Taiwan Walker's in the last year. He's making $18 to $20 million.
Now your outfield's going to look different this year. What do you got? You got Crawford expected to debut and Garcia coming in on a 1-year deal. What does this mean for Castellanos? If Castellanos is here at the end of spring training, I think fans are going to lose their minds.
I think who wants to touch his contract though? Like I think that's the problem with Casty.
$20 million.
Yeah.
Yep. Left on 1 year.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to, you know what I mean, for a dude who might not even play 50% of the games.
They could play at 100% of the games, but you only get 50% of the games out of them. It's the guys so hot and cold.
Yes.
That the benefits of the hot is outweighed extremely by how cold he can go for long stretches of time.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm aggravated because you brought Topper back another year. I mean, the whole coaching staff is back, and Dombrowski ought to take the fall for it.
I already see the writing on the wall with Topper and then bringing Mattingly in as one of your bench coaches.
Well, that was probably the best move you made all offseason is bringing in Donnie Baseball.
Because if things start to go south in a hurry, I have a feeling Topper's getting the axe, and they'll probably just slide Don Mattingly in. And they'll probably slide Mattingly into the interim manager role for the rest of the season. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't go that way. Hopefully, it can come out of the gates hot. But Christ, man.
But the last time they made a midseason change at manager, didn't we end up going to the World Series?
Yeah, when they fired Girardi.
Yeah, it was Topper. Yeah. Topper who took us to the World Series.
And then he regressed ever since.
He has regressed every single season since.
Yeah, but why keep rewinding? Like, I feel bad for people that spend hard-earned money and these tickets just keep going up. Like, how the hell, how much are Philly all Philly sports fans. How much are we suckers for this shit? It's not even about being diehards. It's the same thing for the last 4 years that you're putting back on product on the field. I mean, are we that stupid? Of course, people spend the money to go down there.
Yeah.
Just turn on the vacuum cleaner and just suck your pockets dry with the same bullshit for 4 years. It's a joke.
They're just running it back again.
Well,
With little changes,
it's
tinkers.
ludicrous, honestly. It is flat out ludicrous.
I'd like to say that the ownership doesn't look at our town like suckers because we know we're passionate people, but you'll never, ever, ever get this town in unison to boycott any of these teams. It's just not going to happen. Just won't happen. Because for every 2 that'll boycott, 10 will be there ready for tickets. Both of you guys know, just using the Eagles as an example, with the Eagles season ticket holder, for every 2 season ticket holders, there's 10, 12, 20 behind you waiting to take your seats.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but the Eagles, let's face it, the Eagles are the crown jewel, 50,000 feet above all 3 teams. I'm sorry, I'll say it. And I know you can relate.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been the Birds have definitely become the gold standard.
I mean, the younger generations, you're spoiled because we had some bad Eagles teams. I mean, they would be good to make the playoffs, but I mean, it's like Merrill Reese said, this is like the golden era of Eagles football. Yep. Down, it almost took us half our lives to get here.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, the Buddy era was good, but Buddy could build a defense. But just wrote too many checks the Eagles couldn't cash in back in those days.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we were fortunate with Andy Reid. All right, we didn't win a Super Bowl, but the Eagles were competitive for at least 10, 12 of those years.
Got you close enough to realize what you needed and what you didn't need. And we were talking about this. We had this conversation. I guess we can transition into the Philadelphia Eagles for the last half of the show here anyway, because I had some stuff that I wanted to kind of cover on the Birds, because it's going to be a wild offseason, I think, here for the Eagles for sure. But we were talking about the transition from the Eagles hiring general managers and guys who wanted to run the team, and Andy Reid. And Andy, I believe Andy did a great job as the GM and head coach combination. I for the most part, Andy, in my opinion anyway, which I do believe he did that. When they went through the Chip Kelly era, I had a feeling that Jeffrey Lurie said, I am never going to do this again. That's why the coaches he's had since haven't had the control. However, the Eagles have had the success that they've had. Yeah, and for Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie not being quote unquote football guys, they absolutely garnered the results that they've been looking for. Because we know Dougie P didn't have the control, and when he wanted the control, he was gone. Yep. And then you bring in Nick Sirianni, who again is more of a game manager. Norm and I talk about this often, and he's going to go with the program, or he's going to be gone too. But I put my trust in Howie and Jeff right now. I do. It seems like when they took over pulling the strings after the long tenure with Andy, and they gave Chip Kelly that shot, and then after he shot himself in the foot, and they took the reins. I mean, we've had as much success as we've ever had.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been 3 Super Bowls in 10 years with those two pulling the strings.
I'll say this. I mean, I'm always the first. I mean, Howie went around to different organizations after he got put in the broom closet, got his head out of his ass, and knew how to draft right, which there's still some clunkers in there. Let's
of
let's
course.
call a spade a spade.
No human being's perfect. Howie definitely has his warts, but those warts are from a while ago. And this guy's been doing not much, but just hitting every single pick, or damn near every pick he's made over the last few seasons. So
I'll give him credit where it's due. He's been hit on. He's had more hits than misses.
Yeah, and in that game, in the GM game, that's what you're judged on. You're judged. You're judged on your hits. You're judged on your misses. But if you have more hits than misses,
but
you're in positive.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go back and reminisce.
Look,
I always love firing it in there.
I know, absolutely.
Not trying to be negative. I'm just being real.
Fooch, it wouldn't be from Philadelphia if you weren't a little negative.
Yeah, but
it's in the DNA.
But you have some homers in here. Oh, you're not a fan. Like, get your head out.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. Because somebody's passionate and they're calling it calling it like it is. No, you can't.
But when the team sucks, they suck. I'll say it. I have no problem.
I think that's been our one clue.
Just like every week, we're back watching, being loyal, throwing stuff at the TV or what have you, and when they love them when they win, and want to be playing Monday morning quarterback when they lose.
That's kind of the MO of our town. So Brian Dable is reportedly doing some interviewing here with the Philadelphia Eagles. Does his history with Jalen Hurts at Alabama make him the perfect Hurts whisperer, or is he too similar to previous coaches who couldn't find a rhythm with this offense? What are your guys' thoughts?
I think he would be a good fit with Jalen, but I don't know if his offense is any better than the past couple of years. Is he like a Kellen Moore type guy, or is he like this like Patullo? I don't know. He didn't have the best track record out there in New York, but then again, he head coach, right? Trying to do both things. I don't know. I know him and Jalen have that history, but he also benched Jalen for Tua, didn't he? So
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I would say to a point, because Jalen's weaknesses, his strengths. He coached Barkley in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was there with Jalen when Devontae Smith was a freshman. So I would say, yeah. I mean, what would he do with Josh Allen in Buffalo? But who's to say McDaniel couldn't come in here and turn it around? But the thing of it is, could Vic Fangio and McDaniel just put aside their differences that they had in Miami?
Right.
Or Fangio would, being a great, seems like, very down to earth man, like let bygones be bygones.
Right.
On a personal level.
And they wouldn't even be in the same realm. Like, it wouldn't be the same. What am I trying to say? Hierarchy, like as it was in Miami, right? Because McDaniels was the head coach. He's got the final say, right? So he wouldn't even have that authoritative spot over Fangio. So
but I think whoever comes in here kind of has to be a Fangio on the offensive side of the ball.
I agree.
Like Kellen Moore was.
Yep.
Go to Sirianni. Do we go for this, that, and the third? But you stay as the CEO, Nick, Paulie Pom-Poms or High School Harry, and let me do my thing on this side. Nick does his thing with the defense on that side. You know, you just stand there with the headphones and look handsome, whatever. You know, like you're in charge, but or be the motivator that all these players supposedly love you in the locker room.
And when Sirianni has been the quote unquote cheerleader, they've been in the Super Bowl. When they've taken that play calling completely out of his hands, they've gone to the Super Bowl. Like this year, I think Nick had a lot to do with the offense. And Tutulo, you know, not really knowing what he's doing.
I mean, you go back to 2021, you know, Eagles 2-5, Sirianni calling the plays, turns it over to Steichen. They start running the ball, and then they go on that run for the wild card.
It's true. Sirianni, is he safe for now? I'm assuming he's safe for now, at least this upcoming season. But if another coordinator comes in that fails, are they going to turn all eyes to him?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, because not to call you off, Helen. I mean, you won the Super Bowl, you got knocked out in the wild card. That's regressing now. You know, who the hell knows what moves Howie makes? Do they keep AJ Brown? I can't see how they trade him because of the dead cap hit is like $42 million.
Yeah.
But I would say Sirianni's on the hot seat. If this team don't go wherever next year, I mean, if you just get back to the wild card and get bounced, how can he not be?
I think if they start out slow, he's just turning the heat up on himself. You know, they start out 2-2 again. I think the heat is definitely on. You know, I think Laurie and Roseman are cranking the fire up underneath of them to see what they can get. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this year it seemed like he lost the locker room. You know, you didn't get to play on the field. You got a lot of emotions and a lot of responses from the team, but you didn't get it on the field. Except on the defensive side of the ball. You know, you got it there, but that's I think that's more Vic and the coaching up from Vic than maybe from Nick, you know?
Well, just to bring up that game last week, there's enough blame to go around because that defense got torched for 5 or 6 plays, and nobody really talked about it. Besides a stagnant offense, which, you know, great teams find ways to win. And you can blame Jake Elliott for missing an extra point to kick a field goal in overtime. But the Eagles beat themselves in that game.
Yes.
There wasn't no reason why they shouldn't have been able to punch it in.
So you go back to that last series of plays, the last 10 plays or whatever, they ran 8 of the same plays in those 10 plays. They ran the 4 verticals, they ran the slants, and the little hook reel routes. They ran the same play multiple times. Well, it was like, what are we doing?
The thing that got me was Tank Bigsby was running amok, and then you just go away from him.
Yeah.
If you would have kept that nice Barkley Tank Bigsby mix going, you would have won the game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
With the consistency.
So out of the core guys here, you got like Dallas Goedert, Reed Blankenship, and Nakobe Dean are unrestricted free agents. Which one of these homegrown players is a must keep for you guys? I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but out of those 3, who is a must keep for you?
I say, I go back and forth between Blankenship and Dean.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I mean, Dean's play this year when he was healthy was top notch. Go ahead, Pooch.
I was going to say Dean, but I think that's why they drafted Jahad Campbell. Knowing Dean's contract, was up. I mean, Goddard, I think, is going to walk because he's, after the year he had, I think he's just going to get the bag somewhere else. Blankenship, hey, go back to last week. I mean, he got burned on a couple of, he got killed over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's blame him partially. I believe the Eagles got to go heavy offensively in the draft. You got to, wherever Lane Johnson is, that line, I think that line kind of got old and was beat up from last year. Like, that line got old fast.
It did.
They played a lot of football last year, too,
All right. I mean, what did they say? The Eagles played the most games over the last 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're extending your season every year by another 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, man. It catches up with you.
Yeah. You're playing a lot.
Catches up with you. And a lot of people are like, it's just an excuse, but is it really? You know what I mean?
Look at KC, right? Look at KC.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And they've been in the Super Bowl or damn near the Super Bowl past 5 years, right? And where are they at now? Nowhere. They're like us. They're at home.
That team got old too, and really they didn't replace a lot of guys.
You had your money guys. You had Mahomes. You got, you had your
Kelsey.
Your other wide receivers. You know what I mean? You prioritize certain things over other things, and eventually the wheels fall off.
Yeah, man. Well, look, before we get out of here, let's get an AFC champion and an NFC champion pick here. What are you guys liking for next week's games?
Oh, man. Okay, so we got LA versus Seattle, and we have the Patriots versus
the Broncos without Bo Nix.
Oh, man. That was, man. That was probably the first time I actually got to see Bo Nix play the other day. And I was really kind of impressed by the kid. Him getting hurt there at the end kind of stinks. So I think I got to give the edge there to the Patriots.
I'm thinking a rematch. I'm personally seeing a rematch.
Wow.
Pats and Seahawks for me.
Oh yeah, see, man, do you trust Darnold? You trust Darnold to get it done, or Stafford? Stafford, the old man, come in there and I
don't know, man. Darnold's been getting it done all season, dude. All season long.
That's true.
Went into the divisional round and blew the fucking doors off the Niners. So
that is true.
Zach Charbonnet's done for this season.
I guess we'll see.
Tore his ACL the other night in the San Fran game.
Yeah, but I can see New England, Seattle in the Super Bowl.
How about you, Food? What do you think?
I don't want to write Denver off, but I think without Bo Nix, I don't think. I'll say New England. Vrabel has too many turnovers in that game Saturday evening, but
right.
But that team's been lights out all year. Denver has too, but without Bo Nix, I don't think they really have a shot. I would say the Rams from experience, but unless San Fran was just garbage and Seattle just ran roughshod. I'm not sold on Darnold either, but I would have to say Seattle, New England.
Yeah, man. That's what it sounds like for me. Well, look, boys, another Monday in the books. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, jumping in on the text board. So for Alan Andrew Cabbage, for Mike Fuji, I'm Tom Kelly. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. We're out of here.